Does it seem like your XJ is just not performing like it used to? Could it use a little bit more stiffness?
If so, put down the blue pill, pick up the phone, and call the guys at Ruffstuff Specialties.
Oh, buddy. They show no stiffness.
Today, we're going to show you how to get the stiffness you've never had in your XJ.
Oh, man. It might be a little too stiff.
Maybe. What we got is a set of frame stiffeners from Ruffstuff Specialties. 3/16
This
fronts and midsections. And we're going to show you how to install it.
There's going to be some things that we'll show you that seem to work well for anybody who's got questions about skinning it down, keeping it protected underneath.
A lot of prep work involved.
90% of this is going to be prep work. That's all there is to it. So stay tuned, and
we'll show you guys how we do this step by step.
Step by step. So basically, of course, we're going to take the shock. We'll end up removing the spring. The track bar mount, it's going to have to come off.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And, you know, some odds and ends. I don't think we're going to be going as far as that. No.
This will come off, but I think it'll match
What
up
was
to
in
that
ball
one.
holes?
Huh?
What was in ball holes?
These?
No, on that piece of stiffener that I seen, it looked like frame bow holes. I'm thinking we're going to have to cut it right there, because if I'm not mistaken, this set goes all the way to the nose.
Yeah, you might be right.
I'm pretty sure of it.
I don't know where that piece went.
So that goes all the way to the front.
Yeah, that's those 3 bolts.
Yeah. So we'll end up, since we already done the gearbox stiffener, we'll end up cutting and fabricating this last piece in, and we'll not run this piece.
And it'll weld up here.
Yeah. You're just gonna go ahead and weld that in?
Yeah.
Cool. It's all getting welded.
That's all getting welded. This way the only thing detachable will be the bumper itself, but the plates will be part of the frame.
Shoot ya, fam.
No cap.
No cap. Bet. Something lined up in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we got it all tore apart. We got the spring out. Because the limit strap is also shares a bolt with the shock, we're trying to avoid taking this out completely if we can help it, because right now that's what's holding the axle up. So yeah, that's it. Spring, shock, sway bar, brake line. Everything here's done. We got the rock sliders cut off and unbolted. And
now that we're here, it don't really seem like it's going to be that big of a problem grinding this stuff down.
no, there's not a whole lot to it. And to prep it, we're going to be using this wire wheel, and I have another wire wheel. Again, these came from Amazon. It's a DeWalt brand wire wheel. We've used this once before, and the thing works good. So we're just going to blow through the paint, get it down to bare metal and as clean as we can possibly get it.
Then we'll end up doing the weldable primer, getting it all up on there, tacking it. This piece right here, we're going to have to conform. That's the reason why they got it.
Yeah.
That way you can weld to it. But that way, once we get it up on there, we can get our clamps and push it to the body, so this thing is going to be rounded.
Let's get to grinding.
Yeah, baby. What's that one you got?
This one, yeah, another DeWalt, a little different. Definitely wear eye protection when you use these things, because that right there will come flying out.
Smack an eyeball.
Yeah.
What set you got in your hand?
Oh man, this is like magic.
Fire powered.
The brushes work great on the angle grinder to get through that top coat. And they work pretty good up here. But once you get down here,
Yes.
and keep in mind, I'm trying to clean it all off and just hit it with some primer rather than try to mark it and just clean off the areas where I'm going to coat it or weld it. So once I got down here, it was taking forever. The paint was so thick, the primer was so thick. So we got this thing out, put some 180 grit on it, and I would like to show you how easy it is, but it went so quick, I'm already done.
Yeah, maybe next time.
That's pretty much it. We still got to cut the piece up front, get that cut, get everything fitted, and then also come down here and look where my cross member is. The stiffener wraps under here, so we're going to cut this out, and then the cross member will get welded to the stiffener because I have an unboltable center section. So I got to cut that out, make that fit, and then the piece up front for the bumper, and then we'll shoot this thing with some of that primer.
Shoot, yeah. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Alright, I think the prep work is finally done. All in all, it really didn't take that long to prep it.
Not at all.
The most time consuming part will be sanding it all down, but I think that's the most critical part. You really need to get down to bare metal. If not the whole thing, like what we've done here, at least go through and mark where all your welds are going to be and clean those areas up. The biggest reason for me doing this was once that thing's welded on, you're not getting behind it to paint, so I wanted to make sure that the body was sealed as good as possible. I know there will be areas around where it gets welded that's going to burn off the primer, but this will be, I think, better than leaving it bare metal for sure. So we got this front piece cut, as you can see here. That piece is cut to go around the bumper. I still got to shape this corner a little bit, but we're out of flap discs. So we'll have to do that on another night. But it is ready to shoot with the primer.
All the way down.
So we're going to be trying out this weldable primer and see how it goes. This has all been wiped off and should be ready to go.
Well, let's throw some paint to it.
Yeah.
We're getting some stiffeners on.
Yeah, boy. We got Dwight with us. I'm gonna say hey, Dwight.
How are y'all?
So I guess ideally you would want to start by bolting the front piece up here. If you're doing the full fronts and mids, you would want to start by bolting the piece up here where your gearbox is and work your way back to make sure everything lines up. Because of this being cut for the cross member, this can only go in one spot now. So we're going to start with this and then kind of work our way towards the front with that. And we cut the piece at the front, so we've got a little bit of room to play with getting that thing fitted.
We've done worse.
Oh yeah. So here's what we're doing. We got the floor jack under the back of it. You can see how it's broken in kind of 3 sections. So we're going to start back here, get this jacked up nice and flat, tack this on, and then we're going to do the midsection, and then we'll move up to the front section.
That sounds like smells good.
That's money.
That'll work. That is a super nice way to do it. So, as long as you're running long arms, like we are, set everything up, like we just showed you, draw it, cut it out, then you can also run this piece against that other piece. And we're all about ridgeability. That'll work.
Ridgeability. I think we made up a word during this process.
Did we?
I'm pretty sure.
Did we make it up?
Pretty sure.
Ridgeability?
Yeah.
Sure, somebody's had to have said it.
I'm not saying somebody ain't said it, but I don't think it's documented anywhere. Alright, so these pieces, we had to cut the back of this off right here so that it would line up under here. The kit is not intended to be used, from what we can tell, you're not intended to use this with the front section, but because this ties it all in a little bit better, and you know, eventually this thing will probably have hoops up front, we want this to be as solid as possible, so we took the extra step to modify this to give us a little bit more contact to tie the front pieces into the back piece, the mid piece, this piece. We have to determine it goes under here, and I'm not going to stick it up there because I just sprayed primer on that, but it looks like this is here to tie in. If you did go ahead and do a rear section, then this would be here to tie it into the mids.
Get off and showcase it.
There it is. Well, not the last piece, but the last piece for the front section. We got that thing sized up.
We're going to have to shape it a little bit, you know, put it in there.
Yeah, it's just propped up, but that's it. Why'd the lever just go off?
I accidentally hit the button.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had it.
Y'all sound like a married couple.
In this cutout, it is, I mean, there's just no way to get your MIG in there to weld that up. So I just chose to get in there and tighten the corners up really good. And then the rest of it we just stitch welded along the outside here. Be extremely cautious about welding this, especially near the front. It's just one ply, so it's really easy to blow through, and obviously the carpet's on the other side if you still have carpet. And then the same thing underneath, we just stitch welded it along probably a 2-inch weld every 4 to 6 inches. And then the vertical splits are welded solid all the way to the front.
Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps it up. The only thing we did after the camera stopped rolling was put some undercoat on this, and the stuff we use is from Rust-Oleum. It's just called Rugged Black. I had used this in the rear fender wells when we did that cut back there, and it looks really good. It almost looks like the factory undercoating. So we did that from front to back, but really it's all in the prep work, getting everything sanded down, cleaned up.
If there was something you should recommend for these right here, what would it be?
I'd say the best thing that you can get for doing this is some kind of sanding discs. I think the sanding discs outperformed the wire wheels, the flat discs. So yeah, get you some sanding discs, get you some weldable primer, and go to town. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this helped you out, and maybe we'll see you one day out on the trail. Peace.
If this works out, let's shape this, cut this, put it back up, fit this, and if that's the case, then we can get a lot of more ridgeability out of this thing. Let's try it.